Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us right now, the head football coach of the Van Vandals, Jared Moffatt. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you guys today?
Doing very well. Thanks very much for talking with us today. Let's talk a little bit about, first of all, your win over Athens over the weekend. That runs you now to, what, 6-1?
6-1, yes, sir.
Congratulations. So tell me about your team and tell me about the win over Athens.
Well, we appreciate it. First of all, that was a tough game, and we knew it was going to be. Athens is a talented football team, and they have some good football players, and, the game was played at their place. And we thought going in it would be a tough game. They played Athens the week before, and it was close into the fourth quarter. And our game was the exact same way. It was a 7-point ball game in the fourth, and fortunately our guys were able to make some big plays in the fourth quarter to preserve the win. Talk
a little bit about overall how your team has played up to this point. Obviously having a great year so far. What's been the key?
Well, we're a young football team, and we had a tough non-district schedule going in, and I couldn't be prouder of our team with where we are right now. We've won some close ball games and just found a way, and I think this team is just a team that battles and plays hard, and that's been a constant, I think, throughout the years with Van football. Is the kids from Van show up and they play hard for 4 quarters, and I think throughout those years that's the way Van teams have found a way to be successful, is they just play hard. And I think this team is very similar to those teams in the past. And again, being so young and playing some good people that we've played, I've been so proud of the kids because I just felt like they played hard. We continue to get better in all 3 phases of the game. Again, we've been fortunate and found a way to win some close games.
Been able to stay healthy this year?
We have, for the most part. Again, everybody, it's week 8. And everybody around the state of Texas is beat up and banged up and bruised up, and we did lose. We lost 2 seniors and the Mineola game for the season, more than likely. And starting safety Rigo Lemus was one of our captains. He also played receiver, was a great kid and a great football player, and another slot receiver, Austin Lockwood, that had played well for us this year, another senior. Hated to lose those kids. They meant so much to our football team. And but again, everybody across the state is they got the same issues going on with their teams at this time of the year, and it just presents a great opportunity for some other guys, in this case some younger guys, to step up and make plays for us.
The good news is you got a guy like Sid Moore who has been fabulous for you. Talk about the kind of player he is.
Well, you're right. Sid has had a tremendous season, again, as a senior, and he played really well as a junior, and I felt going into the year he'd be hard pressed to duplicate or replicate the type of year he had as a junior, because he didn't have Dalton Santos standing behind him. I've just been real pleased with him and his effort. One of the things about him is he plays so hard. He's a defensive tackle. He leads our team in tackles from that spot. But one of the reasons for that is he plays hard. He'll make tackles on screens, 10 yards down the field. He pursues the ball. One of the things that makes him special, he's a very strong kid, athletic. He's quick off the ball. I tell people all the time, his dad was a tailback at Van in the Power I, went to North Texas on a scholarship. So he's an athlete. He's not just a big kid that was strong and powerful. He can run around, and that's one of the things that makes him special down there.
And the other thing you've got is an experienced and talented quarterback in Garrett Smallwood. Talk about his play.
Well, and you hit it right on. Anytime you have a quarterback that's played for you, and this is Garrett's second full year to start for us, that's just so important to your team. I think that's one thing Vince Lombardi said about football. It's the greatest team sport, except for one thing: the quarterback's way too important. and he's right. And and that goes in anybody's offense. And Garrett's played really well for us, and as the season has progressed, he has almost an entire new receiving core and a couple of young guys, and they've come along and they've started to help him out some. But I couldn't be more pleased with what he's done for us this year. He's a tremendous competitor. I tell him sometimes that he plays the game like he's a linebacker playing quarterback, and which sometimes can be good, and other times I'm just like, hey, step out of bounds, man. It's all right. But
he's trying to play like a linebacker,
I'm
like
telling
you said.
But he is a tremendous competitor. And he's done a great job for us in his second year as a starter, and we've needed him to. There's no doubt. All those seniors that are back, we've needed them to play well, and they all have stepped their game up and done a good job for us this year.
And this week you take on a Brownsboro team that seems like it's vastly improved.
No, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Coach Thompson and his staff over there have done a great job. Their team is 5-2 this year, and they've beat some good people, and they're playing extremely well on both sides of the ball. And, of course, we knew their quarterback was a good player. He was a good player last year, the Shelby Rogers kid. He can run and throw. He's got a strong arm and a quick release, and, they have receivers making plays. And their defense is playing well, and they're well coached. And, anytime Van and Brownsboro play, it's a rivalry game. It's close, and, they've been playing for years. It's just one of those situations where, almost every guy that played football in Van played Brownsboro at one point in time, and vice versa. And the last 2 years that we've played them, those games have always been exciting and tough, and they've been a great atmosphere. So it's going to be a tough game Friday night, I think, on both sides, and it's also very important as far as our district race is concerned for making the playoffs, with both of us being 2-0.
And with you mentioning that, I wanted to get your reaction because starting in 2014, Class 3A is going to add a fourth playoff team from the district. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. There's good and bad, and there is with everything else. And if I finish fourth place next year, I'll be extremely ecstatic. I'll be the happiest person alive. They're taking 4 teams. I
understand. Hey, Coach, congratulations and best of luck this week against Brownsboro. We look forward to talking to you down the line.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Coach, thank you very much. Jared Moffatt, the head football coach of the Van Vandals, on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.